Hey guys, it's Ahmad
And Christina
from Our Rich Journey. We are talking about real estate because the real estate market is finally starting to drop. In fact, we think it has a lot further to go, and we think it is a great time to develop your investment strategy for real estate, especially when you're talking about investing for financial independence. You see, Christina and I, we currently own 3 properties in Portugal, and we actually have plans on buying more properties in the future. We're planning on buying 2 more, in fact. But we are developing that strategy right now based on what is taking place in the real estate market. You see, for the past several years, real estate has just been going up, and up. But times have changed. The situation is completely different. And for anyone that is ready for the opportunities that are about to come upon us, this will be a great time to build wealth.
So, we're going to be talking about whether or not we think people should begin investing in real estate right now. We're also going to be talking about some of the current trends in housing that will really help you determine whether now is a great time to buy real estate or to wait a little bit in the future. We also have some really great tips about what you can do to prepare yourself for investing in real estate in the future. And we're going to go into more detail about our plans for real estate investments.
So you know we are huge fans of investing in real estate. We think it was the secret sauce that got us to financial independence a little quicker. You see, there are 4 big reasons why we think investing in real estate is such a great thing. The first reason is that real estate is a tangible asset that you as the investor have so much control over. Because of that, you have the ability to improve the returns on this type of asset. The next reason, and this is specific for anyone wanting to pursue FIRE, is that it can be a great source of income to support you in early retirement. You see, the rents that you can get from real estate can be enough to cover your daily expenses. In fact, that is our situation here in Portugal. The rents that we get from just one of our Airbnbs covers all of our expenses here in Portugal.
Another thing is that the income that you collect from a rental property can be a lot more stable than the income that you may collect from the stock market. The stock market can be a lot more volatile. So the stability of real estate is a great benefit. And finally, and this is a really big one considering the time that we're in right now, is that real estate can be a great hedge against inflation. And this is because as inflation rises, you can also raise the cost of your rent that you're charging to your tenants. It can keep up with the rate of inflation. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some of the trends that are currently going on in housing because we want to tie that to whether or not we think it's a good time to invest in real estate right now. So the first trend has to do with supply. There are more active listings in the real estate market in the United States right now. In fact, there are 30.7% more listings now as compared to a year ago.
So for all of you out there, it's important to recognize that supply is a huge factor when it comes to determining future price. And so of course, if we're talking about supply, we must talk about demand. And when we're talking about demand, we are talking about low demand. In fact, we are seeing the lowest demand for housing that we've seen in the past 2 years.
So with the increase in supply and the decrease in demand, we're seeing that impact on housing prices. I mean, 6 months ago, if you were trying to purchase a house, you were seeing homes go way over asking price. They wouldn't even sit on the market for very long, and people were offering much higher than what the asking price was. But now that trend is reversing. In fact, of all the homes that were listed in the United States last month, 19.1% of those homes had a reduction in their price. They reduced their asking price.
This is huge because 6 months ago, sellers weren't even considering cutting their prices, but now they are doing exactly just that. And you can look at some of the hottest markets across the United States. It's not just 19% of the homes that are listed that are cutting their prices. No, in some cases, it's over 40% of the homes are cutting their sales prices just to get buyers. I mean, if you look at areas like Austin, Texas, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona, 40% of these homes have cut their prices.
So in addition to all of this, buyer sentiment is also low. And you can see this two ways. First, by construction permits. Construction permits throughout the United States are now at lows. They're at the lowest that they've been in the past 2 years. And another thing that's really interesting are mortgage applications. Applications throughout the United States are at significant lows right now. In fact, the number of people applying for mortgages right now have not been this low since the early 2000s.
So to the big question, is now a good time to buy? Our answer is no, it is not a good time to buy, because this is just the beginning of something that is going to keep going down. In fact, interest rates are continuing to rise. The recession is here in one way or another, so we think the housing market is going to get even worse, which is why we are waiting to buy.
But even if you agree that the housing market is going to continue to get worse and that you're not really interested in buying real estate right now, that doesn't prevent you from taking action. In fact, we think right now is a great time to develop your real estate plan so that when the market bottoms out, you're ready to take action and invest in real estate at that point.
And I love this because so many of you have been talking about high real estate prices for many years, and now is your opportunity to prepare yourself for what is to come. So let's talk about preparation and the action you can take right now. The first thing is to save for a down payment. What you want to do right now is to start to put away cash in a safe place, not invested in the stock market, but a safe place that will be accessible for a down payment on a house in the future. Now, ideally, you want to save about 20% to put as a down payment, but you don't necessarily need 20%. There are other programs that will allow you to put down a lot less.
You also want to focus on your credit score. If you don't have a really great credit score right now, now is the time to really focus on building that credit score up. In order to purchase a house, a good credit score is really a 680 or higher, and the higher you can get it, the better. So right now, focus on getting that credit score up. We actually have a video on how you can really quickly and easily increase your credit score. We'll leave a link for that video in the description below.
The next action you can take is educate yourself on the home buying process. We are all about financial literacy here, and this is a part of that journey. Educate yourself on all of the ins and outs when it comes to real estate, to mortgages, to inspections, to appraisals, everything that is involved in buying a home. Educate yourself so that when you go to make that transaction and you are dealing with all the people involved in that transaction, you can hold your own weight. The next thing you can do right now, in the meantime, is learn to do DIY things around the house. Now, for us on our journey, this was a huge part of getting great real estate returns because we were flipping homes and doing all the work ourselves. And we learned to do those flips before we ever bought real estate by getting involved in opportunities that allowed us to develop those skills.
So there's a number of different ways that you can learn these skills. You can do volunteer work for places or organizations like Habitat for Humanity. You may also have local courses available to you where you can learn these things. We actually did a video on all of the different ways that we learned how to DIY and renovate our own homes. So we'll leave a link for that video in the description below.
And our last piece of action advice is to start to follow the particular market that you want to invest in right now. You see, the advantage that real estate investors develop is through knowledge. A knowledgeable investor in a particular market always has a clear advantage over other investors, over buyers, over sellers. They are putting themselves in a position to be able to get the best returns. And you do this by niching down as much as possible to the type of real estate that you want to invest in a particular neighborhood. So in order to do this, you should be reading the city plans. You should be monitoring the sales and listings in your neighborhood or in the area that you are focusing on in order to understand what is a good deal and what is a bad deal and where the trends are taking place. And lastly, keep track of inventory. We talked a lot about supply and demand earlier. Well, keep track of the supply and demand in your neighborhood. And when you've seen these things start to move in your favor, where the supply is so high and the demand is so low, then you get to a point where you can start making aggressive lowball offers and getting deals on real estate. So let's talk about our plan to buy more real estate. We mentioned earlier that we plan on buying at least 2 more homes in the upcoming years. Well, those two homes are a part of our strategy to help fund our daughter's college. You see, when Sanoa and Malia go off to college in about 3 years, our plan is to invest in real estate in the town that they go to college. You see, our daughters are going to start house hacking as soon as they can. So our plan is to buy a home that our daughters will live in after their freshman year, and that home will have enough rooms that they can lease out to other students. Now the plan is the rent that our daughters collect from their roommates will pay the mortgage on the home.
So again, we actually have a plan for this, and we are building our investments around this particular plan. Our oldest daughter doesn't go away to college for 2 more years, and then we want her to be in the dorms for freshman year. And then after that, that will be our plan to buy our first home in this way, followed by the second one for our younger daughter. But that is our plan. We think that waiting this amount of time will be a great opportunity for the market to keep going down and then to jump into the market at that point where we think it will really be low. So these are our plans. Of course, we encourage you to develop your own plan. Even if, like we said, you don't plan on buying now, it's great if you develop your strategy for investing in the future. Now, if you really want help with your strategy, we actually have a 365-day to FIRE program that's open for enrollment now. It also has a coaching component from us, but throughout that program, we talk about various aspects of investing, including investing in the stock market and also investing in real estate, and we help you develop your real estate plan. So if you're interested in that, we'll leave a link for that program in the description below, or you can also just go to 365daystofire.com. But we hope we gave you food for thought. Like we said, we love investing in real estate. It really helped us in our financial independence, retire early journey, and we think that it can help you too if you do it right. So if you like this video, please make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.